What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here to break down the Cup Series race at Richmond Motor Speedway. We got two races this weekend. The Truck Series video should already be up, so be sure to go check that out. Look, I recorded this video once, and my laptop decided to suck. It decided to just audio didn't work. I don't know. Had to go fix it. Had to go redo a bunch of crap on OBS, which kind of sucked. So here we are doing this again, and now I feel kind of rushed because I am going to be leaving for out of town in, not long. So I'm a little bit rushed here, so it's okay. If the video feels a little rushed, my apologies, but we got to get it out for the people, bro. For the memes, bro. You know the vibes. If you're new here, make sure to leave a like on this video. Subscribe to this channel. Leave a comment. Turn on the notification bell. It really, really helps me grow, trying to continue this growth path throughout NASCAR season. If you want to get more of my content, you can always go down low and subscribe to my Patreon. It's only going to be $10 a month, and you're going to be getting, for all three series, Cup, Xfinity, Trucks, you're going to get content for all three of them. You're going to get spreadsheets, projections, rankings, cores. You're going to get past optimal lines, what I think every driver needs to do to hit their optimal lines, and if I think it's likely. So yeah, go hit that down below. I will not be able to do my live stream this weekend because I will be out of town, like I just said. So follow me on Twitter this weekend. If you have any questions about the slate that you would usually ask me in the live stream, ask me them on Twitter. I'll put the link down below, but if you don't want to hit that, it is NateLane_. Go type in your phone real quick, and follow me on that Twitter, and you can shoot me a DM or just, tag me in a post or whatever. I don't really care. Go for it, and I will answer that question for you before the race starts, most likely. Hopefully I will. Yeah, I might be driving back on Sunday, so just if you have questions about Sunday, I'd ask him Sunday morning. So, but yeah, that's really it. Let's get into the plays. We're gonna start with Brad Keselowski. Look, Brad Keselowski is probably gonna be touted as a place differential play, like, oh, he starts 20 if he's a place. No, he's not. You can't. Brad Keselowski is priced so much that the only way he's paying off his salary is if he's getting Dominator points, and Dominator points are laps led and fast laps. If he doesn't get any of those, he will not pay off that salary this weekend. And that is just, that's what you're playing him for. Don't go into this playing Brad Keselowski as, oh, he's got place differential. I think that's going to work really good. No, it's not. It will not work out. But here's the fortunate thing. Brad Keselowski at these short flat tracks, dominant a year ago. Best average finish at Richmond. Best average finish at short tracks. Best average finish at flat tracks. Average position, he had the best average position at Richmond. The second best at short tracks. Second best at flat tracks. When you look at laps led, 192 at Richmond a year ago. 523 at short tracks. 514 at flat tracks. Dude's a baller. I'm really excited to play Keselowski here. He hasn't won a race yet this year. It's about time. We've seen him been leading laps so far this year as well. So it is about time that Brad Keselowski breaks out and wins a race. Would not be surprised if this is it. I'm going to really like playing him at $12,000. Martin Truex Jr. starts on the pole. I expect Truex to be super, super chalky because he has great history here. A year ago wasn't the best race in the lead lap, but he did finish second. 7th best average finish at short tracks, 4th at flat tracks, 3rd best average position here a year ago, 4th at short tracks, 8th at flat tracks. He's won like 3 of the last 5 races at Richmond, and he's won only 2 short flat tracks this year at Phoenix and Martinsville. Coming off a win at Martinsville a week ago, Truex is honestly, it's been him and Larson this year, man. They've been the 2 best drivers. I would not be surprised if Truex wins again. He should be able to jump out to a pretty early lead, so I do like that. Denny Hamlin, he's also going to need to lead laps to pay off this salary. Start second. Hamlin wasn't great at Richmond or really the shorter flat tracks last year in the finish standings, but he did lead laps at them. He had 643 laps led at short tracks and 566 at flat tracks. I do like Denny Hamlin. Starting second, he is about time to get himself a win. We saw him lead laps in Martinsville last week, so he should be able to lead laps here at Richmond. Joey Logano, $10,600. He starts 5th. I'm going to like him as well. Really good at these shorter flat tracks last year. 3rd best average finish at Richmond. 4th at short tracks. 2nd at flat tracks. We're looking at average position. Best at all 3. Led a ton of laps here as well. He's definitely someone who could be a dominator. Kyle Larson's kind of interesting because, the 2 short flat tracks here he hasn't led laps at. But he's been fast. He's gotten fast laps. He's drove up from farther back in the field both times and got fast laps through. It's just kind of hard to pass these tracks. Once he if he was able to get out front, I wouldn't be surprised to see him be dominator at those tracks. Guy's just been lightning fast this year. I'm going to continue to want to play him. I'm off Kyle Busch for now. He's just been slow, literally in the last year and a half. It's just since COVID hit, man, it's just a different dynamic for NASCAR, and Kyle Busch and his team have not found a way to adjust to it yet, which is sad, because I always loved playing Kyle Busch. He was always like my favorite dominator play in NASCAR, but, now you got to do what you got to do. And I'm just going to keep fading him until we really see some speed from him that we have not all year or really for a while. So I'm not going to be playing Kyle Busch. Chase Elliott, $9,700, starts third. He's had a rough start to the year, but he's still been fast, and his teammates especially been really fast. Fifth best average finish at Richmond a year ago, second at short tracks, sixth at flat tracks. Fifth best average position at Richmond, fifth at short tracks, third at flat tracks. I'm going to like that. Chase Elliott does look good to me. Kevin Harvick starts ninth at $9,400. Again, same thing with Kyle Busch here. He just hasn't been fast, and I just don't feel comfortable playing Kevin Harvick until we really see some real speed from him. Ryan Blaney's next up. Ryan Blaney, he needs a top 2 or 2 lead laps to pay off his salary. I think he can do that. We've seen him be really fast at these short flat tracks. Recently, he was really fast at Phoenix. He was really fast at Martinsville this year. He has a 9th best average finish at short tracks, 12th at flat tracks. We know what he can do. He honestly probably should have won last week if it wasn't for that stupid penalty. I think Blaney probably would have won Martinsville last week and would have been the first 2-time winner of the year. Yeah, Ryan Blaney, but it wasn't. He had a stupid penalty and screwed him. He's still a good play. I think it was still optimal, so that's cool and all. But yeah, I mean, Ryan Blaney, he's going to be interesting. Definitely be someone I want to play. He's too cheap, in my opinion. Alex Bowman only needs a top 11 to pay off that salary. Like, DraftKings, what are you doing? Like, why is Alex Bowman this cheap? Like, I know he hasn't really had the finishes this year, but he's had the speed every single week. He should have finished in the top 5 last week. He should have finished in the top 5 at the Bristol Dirt Race. I mean, he has had top 5 runs this year. Bowman's been really, really fast and really, really good. He's going to break out and win a race sooner rather than later. I really believe that. Starting 24th at top 11, 9th best average finish here last year, 6th best average position here last year. Give me all the Bowman this week. Give me all the Bowman. All right, Austin Cindric's kind of the, where we got to start thinking hard about. This is a tough one. Well, not really. I'm fading Austin Cindric. I actually don't think this is tough at all, but everyone's going to play Austin Cindric because, look, he's Xfinity Series champion, one of the best drivers in the series. He's in a Penske car. He starts 38th. Everyone knows him, so they're going to play Austin Cindric. But I don't want to play him. He finished 28th or 22nd in the last race he ran in Atlanta this year. This was his first normal Cup Series race. I mean, he ran Daytona 500, but that doesn't really count. As it doesn't count when looking at data points for other races. I'm not really going to want to play him. He needs top 19 to pay off that salary. He's going to be highly owned. It could happen, but I really don't think it will. We've just seen these rookies struggle coming into this Cup Series, man. When we've seen this year, Briscoe been struggling. We saw last year, Cole Custer. He won a race, but that was really, those 2 laps were about the only good thing he did last year. He struggled. Tyler Reddick struggled everywhere but freaking Darlington and freaking Miami. Christopher Bell wasn't really in a great car, so I don't want to give him slack for that. But it's just kind of hard for these rookies coming in. It's completely different. And regardless of what people say, you can be so dominant in that Xfinity Series, but these Cup cars, one, the competition is on a whole nother level, and the cars are just that much different. So they're preparing Cindric for next year as they should. I wish Stewart-Haas did something similar with Briscoe last year. I like what they're doing with Cindric here for his future, but I don't want to play him on DraftKings at $8,600. William Byron continues to be way too cheap here. He needs a top 2 or to lead laps to pay off that salary. Starting 4th, he has literally paid off his salary like every single time since the Daytona Road Course. He's just been great this year. Leading laps, getting fast laps. He's led laps and got fast laps in just about every single race this year, and he's been a top 5 driver every single race. He actually has the best average finish in the last 5 races as well. Byron's just been on a roll. I think it's a matter of time until we see him break out again and lead a bunch of laps and dominate for a win again. Would not be surprised to see it here at all. I really like the way William Byron's going. I mean, if they're just going to keep pricing someone who's getting fast laps and laps led every single week at $8,500, I'll continue to play that. He should be like 93, I think, and he's 85. So I love William Byron here. Going to continue to play him. Kurt Busch starts 17th. He needs a top 9, I believe. Yeah, top 9 to pay off that salary. I think Kurt Busch can do it. I don't think it's a guarantee, but we've seen him do it at Richmond in the past. 12th best average finish here, 12th at short tracks, 15th at flat tracks. But he does look like a pretty good, solid mid-range place differential play from Kurt Busch here. I'm going to like that. Eric Almirola, I'm going to avoid $8,200. Like, look, he has really good numbers here historically, but, Stewart-Haas Racing has just been this year. So, I don't want to do it. Top 12 to pay off that salary, it could happen, but feels unlikely at this point. They're just not fast. Kevin Harvick keeps getting top 10s, but Kevin Harvick's one of the best, if not the best driver in NASCAR right now. The fact that he's able to wheel this stuff into top 5 sometimes is just ridiculous. That guy is so talented, and, no disrespect, but Eric Almirola isn't, so I don't see it. It could happen, but I don't see it. All right, here's where we get into this mid-range where I think, literally everybody's in play. And I hate to say that. I hate to be the guy that says, oh, all of these guys are in play. But they really are. DraftKings priced all of them accordingly where they all have a very realistic chance to pay out their salary. it's from Matthew Benedetto all the way down to Michael McDowell. I think all of them have a very realistic shot to pay off their salary. We're gonna go through them all. I think they're all so. These are more tournament plays for me. They're not really cash plays because some of them are gonna hit and some of them aren't. I think probably 2 to 3 of these guys will be optimal this week. I just don't know which ones are. It's hard to judge which ones are actually gonna be optimal. So this is where, if you play a bunch of lives, you kind of just start mixing and matching. Whichever ones you feel more comfortable with, that's who you play. I like all of them. They all have very, very, very likely paths to pay off their salary, but at the same time, they also have very unlikely paths to pay off their salary. They're kind of just this is a classic tournament play, and it's just a bunch of them this week. Usually you only have about 6 or 7 of those guys. Now you got like 10 to 11. So we'll start with Matty D. Matty D is going to need, let me pull this up here on my other screen, just so I got it. All right, Matty D is going to need a top 10 to pay off that salary. He's in a really good car. Wood Brothers Racing, which is backed by Penske Motorsports, whatever. Like that is definitely a spot where I think Matty D can get a top 10. He always has that kind of upside every single race. So I like that. Christopher Bell needs a top 6. I'm telling you, man, Christopher Bell, man, he's been looking good. He has been looking very, very good. In this number 20 car for Joe Gibbs Racing, and this is where he thrives at, is the shorter tracks. This is what he grew up. He's a short track dirt racer, before NASCAR and stuff. And we see him do really well into short tracks this year and in the Xfinity Series. That's where he always just dominated at. But, even this year, I mean, the 2 races he's run really well at the short flat tracks, Phoenix and Martinsville. So I expect another good run from him. Top 6 is definitely very viable. No one's going to play Christopher Bell, so I like him. Eric Jones, he's a top 17. This one I'm not as confident about, but, Eric Jones, top 17 is pretty close to his ceiling, but I think he could hit it. Eric Jones, look, he's in bad equipment with this Richard Petty Motorsports, but I'm telling you, he's getting the best out of what this car can do. He's a very talented driver. I will stand by it. He should not have gotten kicked out at 20, although I did just say Christopher Bell was good. I do think Eric Jones is as well. I honestly really hope that Eric Jones gets that second 23-11 right. If you don't know that's probably going to happen next year. I really hope for whatever reason they give that to Eric Jones. It probably won't be, but I would love to see that guy in a good car again. Very talented driver, in my opinion. I think he could get a top 17. I like Eric Jones. Austin Dillon needs a top 8 to pay off that salary. We saw him run really good at Richmond a year ago, finishing 4th and leading 55 laps in that race. So I do like Austin Dillon. He's definitely someone that I think could pay off that salary. I don't think he's going to finish 4th again, but, top 8's definitely in the cards. And, that RCR team's been pretty good this year. I mean, they've been a lot better than we've seen in the past. So I like Dillon. I think this is a good spot for him. Bubba Wallace, the 23-11 team and Bubba Wallace have been trending in the right direction. Bubba needs a top 10 this week to pay off his salary. I know he hasn't got a top 10 once all year, but he was having a top 10 run last week before some issues at the end of the race. I'm fine with it. Tyler Reddick, $7,200, I believe needs top 10 as well, right? Top 10 as well to pay off that salary, starting 13th. Finished 10th here a year ago. 13th best average position as well. I like it. I just do. I think he can have a good run. I think he can. And, I think I'd prefer, kind of Bubba, Eric Jones, but I still like Reddick. I think he can get a top 10. I think that's the spot where he can do well. Ryan Newman, starting 19th at 7,000. He's a top 13 to pay off that salary. Look, Ryan Newman, I've been kind of off of for a while at this point, but Roush Fenway Racing, I can't deny they've been faster this year. They've had fast runs. We've seen Busher and Newman have good finishes. Both had top 10 finishes. We've seen Busher lead laps, win a stage. It's just, I think Newman's in position to do well here again. Top 13 is definitely possible. I wouldn't call it a lock or anything, but I do think that is definitely something that can happen, and I'm interested in it. Cole Custer, I'm not going to be as confident in his top 15 upside that he needs to hit. Just because Stewart Haas Racing has been, just bad this year. They just haven't been good, and I just don't think that Cole Custer, is really that... he's a good driver, but I don't think he's no Kevin Harvick, able to get absolutely every single ounce out of that car. So I think it could happen, but I'm a little bit less confident here. Daniel Suarez is probably my favorite player out of this group. He needs a top 18 to pay off that salary. I think that's definitely a spot where we could see Suarez succeed here. We've seen him be fast all year. Just kind of some mistakes here and there with his team. Not just him, his team. Pick crew chief stuff, pit crew stuff. Just mistakes. And he was running well last week at Martinsville before getting in that fiery wreck. So, I like Suarez. I think he could have a good run. Chase Briscoe also needs a top 18 to pay off that salary. It's $6,400 starting 26. It could happen. I feel more confident in Suarez just because of how bad Stewart Haas Racing's been this year. They've been just garbage. And it can happen. Briscoe's having a good run last week. He was finally actually having a good run in Martinsville last week, and he got caught up in a wreck. which screwed him. So that sucks. But I'm still interested in Briscoe. I think this is definitely someone who could do well. I think this is someone who could get you a top 18, maybe even a top 15, and that will hit that salary. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is top 13. Stenhouse has been just consistent all year long. Top 15s almost every single week. Dude's just been on a roll. Love it here. I think he can get another one. He's done well at Richmond in the past. Finished 15th a year ago. 14th best average finish or average position at Richmond a year ago. So, I mean, we've seen him run well at this track. I think he could hit value again. Chris Buescher is going to need a top 12 to pay off that salary. So pretty much just stay where he started. I think he can do it. We've seen, again, like I talked about Newman, this is the same team, Roush Family Racing. Like, Buescher's been better. And I think he could keep that top 12, maybe contend for a top 10. We'll see what happens. But definitely has pathways to hit value. And then these last two, Chastain and McDowell, I think can hit him, but I'm not feeling as confident here. Chastain's a top 15. He's had like one of those in a normal race this year, not counting Daytona 500. So, I mean, that's just, something that, I mean, it can happen, but I don't feel as confident. Chastain isn't really, I'm not a huge fan of his. I don't think he's really all that. So, I mean, yeah, he can hit the value, but I just don't see it more than likely. And then Michael McDowell, I think, needs top 18, right? Top 18 to pay off that salary, again, could happen. Feel kind of unlikely, but it could totally happen. Those are just tournament plays. So if we had to go through and just kind of rank all those guys real quick, well, I'm not going to rank them all. There's too many guys to rank. But the guys that stand out to me that I really like Christopher Bell, really like Bubba. I think I really like Newman, man. That scares me. Really like Suarez. I like Stenhouse. Those are kind of the main guys, and I think Buescher too. Those are the main guys I really like in that range. But if you're playing a lot of lineups, man, make sure to just get a bunch of these guys in. I think Suarez is probably the best one, but I mean outside of that, it's really tough to have a read on these guys because they are all in, pretty good equipment. They're all kind of relatively in that same range of just drivers in NASCAR anyway, and they're all priced accordingly where they can pay off their salary. All of them have viable paths to pay off that salary, which makes me want to just play all of them. Like, I'm gonna run a lot of lineups this week. I'm going to be playing all of them. So that's just kind of my suggestion. If you're playing one or two, I think Suarez, the guys I just mentioned that I like more than the others, Suarez, Bubba, Newman, Christopher Bell, like those are the guys I play. So then you got this last little, the value range down here, which I don't think this is going to be a race where we need to go stars and scrubs. I think this is going to be more of a mid-range race, in my opinion. That's just kind of how I feel. There's a lot of, potential dominators that aren't expensive, but, if you're playing Brad and Martin, you're going to have to get down here. Corey LaJoie is going to be the popular one starting 36. He needs a top 24 to pay off that salary. I don't really like that. He isn't, other than Martinsville, he hasn't really shown that kind of speed. So I'm just going to want to avoid it, especially the ownership that he's definitely going to bring. Ryan Preece needs a top 20. We've seen him run well before this year. We've seen him have some top 10 runs this year. Has the 17th best average finish at Richmond a year ago, so that's pretty good. 19th best average position as well. I'm going to like Preece. Anthony Alfredo needs a top 22. I don't see that at all. And then Justin Haley is the one that I like. I haven't been on Justin Haley at all this year, but he only needs a top 26 to pay off that salary. He starts 34 if he's $5,200, and we've seen him get a top 26 in 3 of his 6 races that he's run this year. So Justin Haley looks like a pretty good cash play to me. I don't know if I'm going to want to get there in tournaments because I don't know how high that ceiling is, but all right, so let's say the race plans out like this. Let's say Martin Truex Jr. gets out to an early lead, leads up, the first 120 laps. Brad Keselowski, meanwhile, is racking up fast laps, coming through the field. At the second stage, Keselowski's up there. He takes the lead. He leads the rest of the way, wins the race. Those are going to be your 2 highest scores on the slate. And then say Justin Haley finishes 25th. That's how that works out. So just, know the kind of lineup you're building. If you're building more of a mid-range lineup and you're thinking like Larson's going to lead laps, Blaney's going to lead laps, Byron's going to lead laps, you play those 3. Don't play Justin Haley because you're probably not going to need him. You're probably just going to want some of these guys that finish up higher. So just know how you're building your lineup this week. I think that's really important. But yeah, that's really all I got to say on this video. Thanks for watching. I know this is a little bit rushed, but this is what we got to do. Got to do what you're dealt, the card you're dealt. So it's cool. Thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, leave a comment, all that stuff. Tell me who you think the best play is. Go follow me on Twitter. Ask me questions over there. Sorry I can't do a live stream this week. Subscribe to the Patreon. Yeah, I know I'm just talking a bunch. Have a great rest of your day, and let's make some money this weekend.